You're on one of the teams last night that had essentially voted to not play. I think it was you guys and the Lakers, if I'm not mistaken. Um, when you came out of that breakout meeting with your team, did you get the sense that that was going to be more the norm, that most of the teams were going to vote against playing, or did you feel like you guys were maybe going to be one of an anomaly essentially?
To be honest, I didn't really know, because the kind of the vibe there was just how, because there's so many different opinions. I mean, you put that many people in one room, there's going to be different perspectives, and that's a blessing and a benefit of having these conversations. So, and to be fair, like that vote wasn't us saying we don't want to, play basketball. It was just simply a poll of what we thought was best to do, and that's what came out of our team. And to be honest, I felt like, and still feel like, maybe there's more people that kind of might have felt that way, but given the setting and the amount of your peers around you might not have been as blunt and open about, yeah, I don't want to play, straight up. So that was my first thought. But yeah, it was just, I didn't really know, to be honest.
When you went to bed last night, because you and I spoke last night pretty late, but when you went to bed last night, did you feel like there was going to be a continuation of the season, or did you think it was over?
I felt like it was so. I didn't see any way we were going to get to anything productive. I'll be honest. I didn't feel good. I told you that when we were on the phone. I was like, I don't really feel good. I don't feel confident about what just happened. But sometimes I think it's important to go through stuff like that in order to maybe find some clarity and seek some clarity, which I think a lot of guys really did. I really believe that, after we were able to go our separate ways.
So I'm obviously not in the bubble. I'm sitting on my couch, simultaneously following along on Twitter and watching television. And it felt like the media was in the room. I mean, you had guys like Shams live tweeting what players were saying in the meeting. I don't know. I feel like there needed to be some layer of protection. How do you think that happened?
Well, I mean, it was pretty. One of the first things I noticed walking down there was there were cameras, and you've been in the bubble, you've seen the designated media personnel that are on campus on site, and they're all standing outside of the ballroom that we're about to walk into. And ballroom door, like those doors aren't like, they're paper thin, dude. You have eight, 9 people out front with cameras and with big ass microphones, and like, I mean, what do you think's gonna happen? And then obviously, like, let's be real, there's people in there on their phones. Like, there's probably some people that it might have gotten out, but ultimately, you're allowed. Like, media was inches away from the door from this meeting that we're having, and so I mean, I don't think it's rocket science.
I was wondering if maybe like somebody had just like called up Shams and then like left their phone on in their pocket or something.
Just laid it on the floor. Yeah.
Is it weird? Is it weird to be in a situation? I mean, for both of you guys, this is obviously a very unique situation, but is it weird to be in a thing where like you're having a conversation and then it is being tweeted to the world right away? And when you're kind of like, well, I don't know if that's how it happened directly. It's like it within 10 seconds something is said, and then it's out there, and you almost feel like, how can you control what is being sort of distributed, internationally?
Yeah, I'll touch on that just because I obviously wasn't in there last night. But, when we had the Zoom calls earlier in the summer about whether or not we were ever going to go to Orlando in the first place, I got on the call and there was a red dot in the corner saying recording. CP gets on the call and he says, "Hey guys, just so you know, there's multiple reporters on this call." He had found out that there would be some guys, so be careful what you say. So I would assume to what Landry said earlier, there probably are more guys that weren't necessarily outspoken, but maybe feel like it's the right thing to not play. So yeah, I think everyone in that situation, Lance, you can speak to that as well. Everyone in that situation would definitely be cognizant of anything they say could end up on a Twitter timeline.
Right. And especially, seeing it happen that quickly. And then I think obviously too, like having cameras in your face when you walk out of there. And, like it was, I don't know, I think, and it just heightens it because the two teams that were first seen walking out of the meeting were like, mostly us or the Lakers, and then we followed shortly after. So it's like you take what people are reporting and then you pair that with the visual. You got cameras of it, like you can kind of paint the picture, whatever picture you want to paint, just with those two things right there. But it's difficult to feel like you can be open and honest and completely like, transparent when you're watching it being live leaked and you're exposed. Like it's just, I think that makes things difficult.